Friends, welcome back to the Python programming session. In today's class, let's cover inheritance, which is the most important feature under the OOPS concept. So what is inheritance? Inheritance is nothing but a child class acquires the properties and can access all the data members and functions defined in the parent class. So it helps in achieving code reusability and it eliminates code repeatability. It leads to less development and maintenance cost and it reduces code redundancy. So friends, suppose there are two classes. One is the base class and one is the derived class. The base class we can represent it as a parent class and the derived class can be represented as a child class. Just like in real world scenario, a child acquires the properties of the parent. So similarly in inheritance, the child class acquires the properties, that is the data, members and functions defined in the parent class. And if we want to add some more new functionality in the child class, we can do it so that the original date, it can inherit the properties from the parent class and also it can have new features also present in it. So this is what is called as inheritance. So inheritance provides code reusability to the program because we can use an existing class to create a new class instead of creating it from scratch. So instead of creating the new class from the scratch, we can inherit from the base class and add new functionality to the derived class. The child class is also called as the derived class and the parent class is called as the base class. With inheritance, we can achieve code reusability and we can eliminate code repeatability. So this is what is called as inheritance. Now, what are the different types of inheritance? Python provides 5 types of inheritance, that is the single inheritance, multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hierarchical inheritance and hybrid inheritance. Now, in today's session, let's see single inheritance and multiple inheritance. So, what is single inheritance? In this type of inheritance, the derived class inherits from a single base class. So class B is the derived class and class A is the base class. So class B inherits from the single base class. We cannot have more than one base classes in a single inheritance. It inherits only from a single base class. In this scenario, class B is also called as the child class and class A is called the parent class. Since it inherits from a single base class, this type of inheritance is called as single inheritance. Now let's look into the code details as to how it works. Suppose I have my function def and then parent, which is the base class. Suppose I'm having a class and then parent, which is the class name, and then colon. Now let me define a function within the parent class. So I'm having show p and self as the first parameter. And now let me print I am the parent of Sam. So this is my parent class, that is the base class. Now let me have my class child, which is the derived class. So since it is a single inheritance, the child class inherits the methods and proper variables of the parent class. So how do we represent it as a inheritance? We have to give class child and within parenthesis we have to write the name of the base class. Since parent is the name of the base class, we have to write within parenthesis of the child class the name of the parent class. So so here parent becomes the base class and child becomes the derived class. Now this child class has got its own method called showC and then self, and it prints I am Sam. And now if I try to execute the code, it does not get executed because we are not creating an object to call this particular class. So now let's create an object obj1 equal to child. Let's create an object for the child. See, now the child class can access the methods of the parent class and the child class. So if I say obj1.showP, it does not give any error because it can access the method of the parent class, and it can also access the method of the child class, that is showC. So now if I say run the code, it prints for obj1.showP, it prints I am the parent of Sam, and obj1.showC prints I am Sam. So some of the functionality which are present in the base class has been inherited by the child class. So we need not write the code from the beginning. We can just inherit the parent class, and whatever new functionality we want, we can incorporate it in the child class. So this is the use of inheritance. This is an example of single inheritance. So here the child class can access both the methods of the parent as well as the child. Now let me create an object for parent. obj2 is equal to parent, and let me try accessing obj2 dot showP, that is a parent method, and let me try accessing obj2 dot showC. Now when I run the code for showP, obj1.showP, I am getting I am the parent of Sam. obj1.showC, I am getting I am Sam. obj2 is an object for the parent class. showP, I am getting the output I am the parent of Sam. But it cannot access showC because a parent, that is the base class, cannot access the derived class methods. The other way around is not possible. So obj2.showC gives an attribute error indicating parent object has no attribute called showC. So this is how it works in Python programming language. This is an example for single inheritance. And now let's move on to the next concept, which is the multiple inheritance. In a single inheritance, we inherited the child class inherited the properties of the base class from a single parent class. But in multiple inheritance, the derived class can inherit the methods and behavior, the methods and properties of more than one base class. So in this example, there are two base classes and one derived class. So class C inherits from class A and class C inherits also from class B. Since it inherits from more than one base class, it is also called as multiple inheritance. Now let's look into the code example for the same. So let me copy some of the code over here. This is an example of multiple inheritance. let me delete this code. Okay, so here instead of parent, in real world scenario we can consider class A as father class, class B as mother class, and class C as a child class. So the child inherits the properties of a mother and the properties of a father, properties of father and also the mother. So this is a simple example, but in case of in multiple inheritance, it need not be only two base classes, it can be n number of base classes from which the child class can inherit. So now let me say, instead of parent, let me call it as father, and I am the father of Sam. Since it is multiple inheritance, there should be more than one base class. So let me have one more base class called mother. Show M, self, and then let me print I am the mother of Sam. And this is a child, and now this child class inherits from both father and mother. As in the diagram, it is inheriting both from class A and class B. So here we have to specify the classes from which it is inheriting. So it is inheriting from father, so I specify father separated by a comma, and then the mother class. So if there are even more base classes from which it is inheriting, write the base classes separated by commas. Since we have two, we have got father and comma mother. If there is one more class, then we have to separate it by comma and write those class names, base class names. So here we understand that father is a base class, mother is a base class, and child is a derived class which inherits from father as well as from mother. Now this child class can access the methods in the mother class as well as the father class, but father class can access only father class method and mother class can access only the mother class method, but child class can access the methods in all the three classes. Let's look into it practically. So now let me create obj1 equal to child, and let me say obj1 dot show p, obj1 dot show m, and obj1 dot show c. So it can access the methods in the parent class, the mother class, and its own child class. So when I run this, I get I am the father of Sam, I am the mother of Sam, I am Sam. So we didn't get any error, it is able to access all of them. Now instead of obj1, let me take obj2 and let me say it as parent. And let me replace 2. Now when I run, it says father's class. Sorry, I should specify it as father. Father's class can access only show P. So we are getting only I am the father of Sam. It cannot access the mother class and the child class. Similarly, if I take it as make the father class as mother and see if it can access. Okay. Now when I run the code, I get I am the mother of Sam because it can access its own method, that is show m, but it gives a attribute error when I try to access the father class method because It cannot access the father class method. It can access only its own method because it's not inheriting the father class. So only the child class can access all the methods because it is inheriting from father class as well as the mother class. Otherwise we get an attribute error saying mother attribute object does not have attribute show P to access that particular method. So hope so friends, it is clear for you the single inheritance and the multiple inheritance. If you have any doubts, please do reach to me out in the comment section. If you like my video, click on the like button and please do subscribe to get notifications of my new videos. Till then, see you. Bye bye.